Hi, I'm Cameron Sheets, entertainment editor at Queerty, and I am so thrilled to be joined today by Juan Pablo Di Pace to talk about his beautiful new film, Before We Forget. And we also have one of his lovely stars, Oscar Morgan, here. So I'm just really excited to get into it. How are we doing today, guys?
Good, good. Excited to talk about you. You Queerty have been very good to me. I'm always in there somehow.
Well, you are. You are. Well, we're fans of you. So I'm just thinking how kind of trippy it is to see both of you on the same frame because in the film, of course, you take place in different times, and this is blowing my mind a little.
It's sad, isn't it? I wish that there'd been more scenes for you and I together, JP.
There actually was one, and we erased it.
Oh yeah, well, it's a good thing that was erased because it was so chaotic, I think.
I mean, Juan, I think sort of on the note of time jumping and whatnot, I want to, of course, start with you because, this is such a personal story and it's pretty meta, so to speak, in that it's about a filmmaker, much like yourself, trying to make a movie about this formative relationship in his life. And I'm just curious, did you always want to tell the story this way? These challenges that we see facing Matias at an older age, did you also feel those revisiting this part of your life?
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell it like it is. For me, falling in love for the first time with this particular person was traumatic. And I never in a million years thought that I would ever talk about it. In fact, my co-director, Andres Pepe Estrada, who I know since the age of 12, he became a very prolific film editor, including Argentina 1985, which went to the Oscars and the Golden Globes. For 30 years, we've been saying we need to direct our first feature as directors, him and I. And so this was kind of like an accident. It was a mixture of many things. I was ready to do it. 2020 arrived, and we all had time to think and ask ourselves the important questions of what am I doing? What do I want to do for the next 10 years if I am alive, and mine was I need to direct a film. I need to tell a story. I was in my parents' basement and I found this VHS tape of that time when I was 17 years old, and just watching this tape and the people in the tape and both the pain and the happiness that I saw in this 5-minute piece, it just started like sending me into I could do something with this. And so this tape became kind of like the heart of then the movie being built. It was both painful and wonderful at the same time.
The tape, which obviously plays a role in the film, obviously is the impetus for all of that happening. As you're talking about it, I'm sort of thinking like, you're essentially being handed a time capsule and it's immediately taking you back. Just that experience is so raw and so real. And it's amazing to see kind of how you've translated that to film, certainly.
Everyone knows what being an actor is, which is to have a camera in front of you. People didn't used to know what that was like. And so a lot of the footage that I found is a lot of, people just going,
yeah.
People didn't like being filmed. And so the way I see it is almost like, yes, we have this film that talks about the present and the past, but whenever we see a VHS in the film, which plays a really it's almost like we are seeing something we're not meant to see. It's like being a voyeur in a way. Andres and I just loved playing with those three elements throughout the film: the present, the past, and the VHS, because it just gives it this other thing that you're like, ooh, am I supposed to be watching this? Yeah.
Certainly. Well, speaking of acting, Oscar, I want to turn it to you. You're so wonderful as Alexander. I can't imagine what it feels like as an actor to step into a role like this, one that is so personal to Juan. And did you feel like you needed to do justice to this person, or at least to Juan's memory of who this person was?
Yeah, certainly. I think, but from the beginning, Juan Pablo you were super clear that this was a new story, and it's based in your memories, but it's like it's its own thing. And I'm playing Alexander, which is a fictional character. On the other side of things, I got to see some of those tapes. As soon as I arrived in Duino, JP gave me a hard drive with like hours of footage on it, which was amazing to sort of sink my teeth into. Me and Santi, the other actor, we like sat and just watched it like, oh my God. It's pretty crazy. And it was really helpful having that footage.
The character that Oscar plays, it's a difficult character because you have to fall in love with him, just like the main character, Matias, the boy falls in love with him. And at the same time, on paper, he shouldn't be likable.
Oh yeah, we spoke about this, didn't we? It's like
It's like this privileged, kind of loud, obnoxious kid, and you're like, and so it could be annoying. And yet, when you first read it, or at least when I saw you for the first time in a Zoom, I was like, yeah, okay, this guy, we need this guy.
He's definitely annoying. You're like, he's
no, because you were not.
Yeah.
You were not. And that's difficult. It's a difficult thing that you had to do. Plus, you play the piano in the film. I mean, yeah, Oscar was a huge find, and I'm so glad that you were there. But from like page to then having seen the tapes, did it make sense to you? Like what I wanted in my mind?
I think so, yes, because when I read it first, it quite quickly made sense to me. I felt like I was this character, that on the page version of the character, I felt very close to that, especially when I was a teenager. So I think I could kind of tap into something that was already in me and bring that out again. But then seeing the tapes, like, of course, it's not exactly what I had in my mind, because everybody's so unique, and this guy is so unique. I don't think there's anyone on the planet like him. But yeah, it gave me something else that I wouldn't have come to otherwise.
I can see that. It's interesting to hear him described that way. I think we all can think of or remember people in our lives that are effectively someone who's like a charm bomb, and we know it's like, oh, we shouldn't like get too close to them, but it's hard not to be, and it's hard not to be pulled in. And what really grabbed you? What were you excited to explore? What really spoke to you personally?
At the time that I was reading the script and imagining what it might be like to make the film, I think because I didn't go to university or any kind of like boarding school like that, and I think I was feeling a lot of nostalgia for my school years and missing that sense of community and lack of responsibility. And as soon as when I was reading the script, obviously it's set at the UWC, which is a real place, the one in Duino, and I was all over Google looking at pictures of it, and I mean, the place as well, it's completely trapped in that era and time.
You do such a fantastic job of, drawing us into such a specific time and place. Juan Pablo, I wondered if you can tell me a little bit about what your time there meant to you, specifically as a place where you felt free to explore your selfhood, explore your identity, and how you wanted to tap into that for the film.
This place is sort of, I mean, they say it's education's best kept secret. Just imagine a place which was built after the Second World War by a wonderful crazy man called Kurt Hahn. And after the Second World War, he said, I want to build a school where I can bring one kid from each country and just have them at this age, 16, 17, where they're still, their brains are still flexible and not too judgmental, and learn about each other. And you get there by merit, so you don't have to, it's not about money. And so little old me in Argentina, it just sounded so amazing to go to a completely different place, to be nobody, to start from zero. It wasn't the easiest of childhoods. And so I really wanted to, be from scratch. And so this place gave me that. I was given my first chance to direct the first musical that the school ever did, Grease. And I got to do exactly what I'm doing now, which is I got to direct it. And I was Danny Zuko at the same time. And I was casting it. And so you could say that place, the United World College, gave me like a front row seat into what the rest of my life would be. And so this movie isn't just a film about teenage, but it actually was shot in a real place with the real students. I got to show that authentic magic that you can only see when you're a student there, and what teenagers can feel like when they are all in the same boat without the eyes of adults on them. It's quite cool, and everyone should have it at some point.
Did you find any specific challenges to, one, either actually filming on location, or two, just trying to remain period accurate to this time in the 90s?
It's a place that it could be in the 50s, it could be in the 90s, it could be in the 80s, it could be now. I mean, and also it was very fun to go back to 1987. My mother, Marta Maineri, who's an artist, she was the costume designer and the production designer. And so she made sure that all the photographs and videos and everything from those years that I kept were exactly recreated She did a fantastic job in literally making it look like 97.
But Oscar, what was that like for you stepping into the world? Obviously within the period trappings, but also just coming to this place and filming there. Do you remember your first impressions of seeing it? Was it like you expected it all, or was it completely different?
I had been walking around the town on Google Earth a little bit.
I love that.
And yeah, and obviously having learned a little bit about the school and even seeing the tapes that JP showed me, it did not take more than a few minutes to completely forget about the outside world there.
We used a lot of things that Oscar naturally has, and they weren't in the script, but we wrote stuff in, and we did that with a lot of situations. We would kind of come up with ideas even between the days of shoot and like write scenes and add them to the schedule and stuff. And even though there are elements of real people and history, we decided to kind of just let the story be its own tale. When you're making a movie, the film will tell you what it wants to be. You can write it, you can force things into it, you can put music and colors, and there's one point when you're editing where it is the movie itself that says, no, I want to go this way. There's a real art in the edit of a film, and this one in particular, we treat it as a ball of yarn. It's that unraveling, and it goes this way and then this way, and then which is the kind of films that I like to watch. That's why I don't like saying the word autobiographical, because it really isn't. I just played with the elements that are true, and then change stuff around, because at the end of the day, it's a story.
And it's a beautiful story. We're so grateful you shared it and were able to make this film. I'm sure we could go so much deeper, but it was truly so lovely to meet the both of you and get to talk to the both of you. Congratulations on this film. Excited for more and more people to get the chance to see it.